Well, some more very interesting local by-election results this week that I think might surprise some. But look, before I get to that, Andy Burnham now as Prime Minister, definitely starting to receive more scrutiny as to what the hell he's actually going to do when it comes to stopping this invasion, the illegal migrant boats. Not so small, these boats anymore. I think the record number was 165 people on a single boat from France to England arriving illegally, and of course given a taxi service. And you can see that the record here is that in the first 7 days, as Guido Fawkes reports there, 881 people arriving in Burnham's first week in office as Prime Minister on 13 boats, versus when Starmer was Prime Minister, 546 arriving. So this is a problem that continues, that Labour simply have not stopped or even come close to stopping whatsoever. And also when it comes to scrutiny of Andy Burnham's plans on tax, those now certainly coming under scrutiny as well.
Reform is different. We believe that money taxed when you earned it, taxed when you saved it, and taxed when you spent it should not be taxed a fourth time when you're laid to rest. We believe a family's home is a legacy. It's not a revenue stream. We believe that the proper response of the British state to the death of someone in their family is sympathy, not a valuation, not a knock on the door by the taxman. Andy Burnham may see this as his legacy, but your legacy is not his to take. It is your legacy, not his. So here is Reform's pledge. We will fight this tax, not as opposition for opposition's sake, but because it is unfair, impractical and cruel on the people of this country.
And it's quite remarkable, isn't it, how little Andy Burnham has really said on the issue of immigration, given another recent piece of research you can see there has it as the top issue for voters in this country. And again, the sheer scale of dissatisfaction and anger on this is finally forcing the issue to the point that Andy Burnham is now finally actually being asked about this.
President Trump told the White House briefing yesterday that you wanted to open up the North Sea for oil drilling. He also said that immigration is killing Britain with people coming from all over the world and just camping out. Is the president right? And is that correct, what you told him about North Sea oil?
I indicated in the phone call that we had a week last Monday that I would take a pragmatic approach when it comes to the North Sea, and that is my intention as we go forward from here. There is a resource there. When people are struggling, you can't ignore that, and hence me indicating that to the President. When it comes to the wider issues around the Channel and immigration, obviously there are crossings this week, but overall, if you look at the picture in 2026 compared to last year, 2025, there is significant progress in terms of reducing the number of crossings, the number of people coming over. But there is much further to be done to get the grip on the issue that we require. The Home Secretary is applying that grip, and I'm grateful to her, but more is needed to get those numbers right down. The removals are up too, though, and this is another part of the story that people need to understand. You know, there is progress being made on all fronts, but more is needed.
But look, in terms of by-elections this week, at time of recording, we've not had the declaration for the Greater Manchester mayoral by-election. If this exit poll from Find Out Now is anywhere near being on point, then you can see Labour set to win, with Reform as the main challenger now in Greater Manchester to Labour. Also, in terms of the national polls, if you look at Delta poll, very clear again here, it's Reform versus Labour. But in terms of local council by-election results that we can start off here in South Holland, where once again the Kemi bounce, the Badenoch Conservative recovery is nowhere to be seen. Reform gaining that seat from an independent and the Tories nowhere. You can see there in Wales, the Conservatives down there by more than half in terms of their vote share. Bizarrely, it looks like no Labour candidate there. Plaid Cymru holding that Reform in second on nearly 40%. In Eastleigh, that's a Liberal Democrat hold. Labour getting less than 2% of the vote there, which is pretty striking, isn't it? The Lib Dems holding that easily. And then in Uttlesford, the Conservatives gaining from a local candidate there with Reform in second. And, you know, the trends are very, very clear on all of this. Since the local elections earlier this year, you can see it's Reform up, it's the Lib Dems and Conservatives pretty much steady, and it's Labour down. And we have to see now whether Andy Burnham can translate that poll bounce into significant gains for Labour. In terms of Burnham's plans, though, which again, I repeat the point, are finally coming under a bit of scrutiny, this was what US President Donald Trump had to say when it comes to the new Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Andy Burnham hasn't mentioned publicly migration at all since he's gone into number 10. Did you discuss it with him?
I did, briefly. He's going to have to mention it because it's killing your country.
Mr. President,
killing you.
He won't talk to GB News.
He's killing your country.
He won't talk to us.
And not him. I mean, we'll have to see. I know Starmer did very little about it. And they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from South America. They're coming from different parts of Asia. And they're invading Europe. I mean, they're invading Europe. It's an invasion. And the UK is a prime suspect. Well, he did say one very good thing. He said he's going to open up North Sea oil. If he does that, you're going to be a wealthy country. If he does it reasonably. I was telling Prime Minister Starmer, open up the North Sea. Open it up. You'll be okay. Open it up. They have two problems. They have a huge immigration problem. People coming from all over the world and just camping out in your country. And we've taken a very tough stand. In fact, for 14 months, nobody has come into our country. Zero, which is almost hard to believe, but that's what the report says. Our borders become very strong, and your border is very weak. He's got that problem, and he's got energy problem. He's got windmills all over the place, and anytime you see windmills, you see a failing country, and they're made in China, not used by China, but they're made in China. And you have a thing called the North Sea, and you buy a lot of your energy, as you know, from the North Sea. You buy it from Norway, and Norway gets it from the North Sea. They get their oil from the North Sea. And Norway's got trillions of dollars in the bank, trillions. It sells its oil from the North Sea. And Scotland has a better part of the North Sea. And you have 500, 600, 700 years. You have areas of the North Sea that haven't even been explored yet. You have one of the most valuable oil finds anywhere in the world. And if the United Kingdom would use it, they'd be a wealthy country again. And I tell you what, I could not get Starmer to use it. It was incredible. Every oil company that I meet, and these are all big giants, every person that I know in the oil business said, please, could you open up the North Sea? Could you get them to open it? They're dying to do it. And if you open up the North Sea to the oil companies, Scotland, Ireland, the UK as a whole, but it's right in Aberdeen, Scotland. It's right in Aberdeen. And that would be one of the most vibrant. You know, it used to be called the oil capital of Europe. Aberdeen was the capital of Europe. And now it's, they don't drill oil. And nobody can understand why. You have it's among the finest oil, it's the best oil anywhere on the planet. And it's unbelievable plenty. You don't have to pay Norway triple what it costs them to take out. You have your own oil and gas. If you use the North Sea, the UK will be a really rich country. I cannot get the point across. The new gentleman, when I spoke to him, he said he's going to open up the North Sea. Let's see if that happens.